afternoon we will have the Swedish coaching. But before that, I put a list to you. Please fill it out, your name and your email address, so you will get information where you will find all these slides and things afterwards. Please fill it up. So this afternoon we are lucky to have Ronald, Bergman, coach of Jelmer, and he's going to talk about Moa's training, and afterwards we go to the indoor facility and see some practical demonstrations there. And he's going to speak English, but if there will be some problems, then we have also translator here that if something has to be said in Swedish, so it will be translated into English. Okay, welcome, Ronald.
Thank you. Sure. Thank you to letting me come here. I will talk a little bit about my training. Nothing revolutionary, nothing new, but a small system that I use. I can show you some increasing that I have with this training. I have Isabel from the team with me. She's going to show afterwards some practical technique. We do a lot of technique in our team all the time. I'm very much for technique. That technique is like driving a car with a handbrake. So I always want to increase the technique. And the word that you want to maybe have with you, all the coaches, is to be patient, very patient. You have always to have something to put on next year. If you have done all thing already, it's going to be difficult to increase the active. So I'm 55 years old, working for Sportvägen, Stock Club. It's a big club, as we say in Sweden. We understand club. It's the best. We have some good economy because we have Stockholm Marathon together with SLB. So all the money goes to employ coaches and give also a lot to the actives. So we have a very good bonus system. So Moa and Neil, the Oliveira, they have pretty much help from the club, but very little from the state. Many times people ask me how much money did Moa get when she won the gold medal from the state. Nothing. That's Sweden. We have no help. Very small. And our association is also very poor this year. Or Isabel is working there. I've been an athlete myself, like a little bit better than Moa. 11, 18, 22, 41, but I almost love this thing with running and every other sports. From when I was a child. So I got to Sportvägen, and my friend Cam Dröm, he was a pretty good sprinter before. He really pushed me to be a coach and a trainer. So I can thank him a lot. Because when I was young, he said, you have to write a program to me so I can train. And there, everything started. Today I have 50% in Sportvägen. In a couple of weeks, maybe 17%. First time in my life I have the Swedish Olympic Committee, because me and Moa is in top talent program. So this year, 2012-13, I had some economical help. Otherwise, I go minus a couple times in 1 year. So this is the first time I had some help, and so I have to thank Swedish Olympic Committee when you can go in the top talent program, so you can get some help. So I think a lot of people are in the same position. It's no status to be a trainer here. Sweden. Maybe, I don't know, it's certainly status to be a trainer in Finland or Denmark or Norway. Also working along with the Swedish team, my friend Kent Olsson and me have taken care of 400 meters in Sweden. I'm taking care of the younger and he has the older ones. So we have worked together a lot. I started to develop my philosophy pretty early with a lot of running and a lot of technique. And even today when Isabel was coming, I have also Elin. She's a 100-meter hurdler in the Swedish team. She's been injured and she comes to us this spring. And what I can see that when they come into the team, they do 3 races and they're laying down and have acid and can't move. So I think it's very poorly trained. So we do a lot of races in our team. So I will show you a little bit. But I can already say now, we never do more than 350 meters. I never go over 350 meters. So I know if you look at like heart, you're going to say, oh, that's not working. But for me, speed is very important. You have to have the speed to run 400 meters. And that's what I try to increase with MOA, to get her faster. So I will show you a little bit difference when we start to train. Please ask questions, but don't ask a professional or doctor words, because I'm not going to be able to answer that. Then you have to talk to Håkan Andersson, my friend. I can show you this, because this is something I found out. We never talked about it, maybe in the group, but this is not Neil all the way up. He started 2006 in Sweden. He comes from Brazil, Rio. Born 86. I was very lucky to get him. 2006 he started to compete, and then he go back to Rio for a couple of months. Then he wanted to come back to Sweden and stay there. His mother is a Swedish citizen since 15, 16 years old back. We started to train. I saw a big talent, a very big talent. I was drooling because he had bad technique, and in Brazil they wanted to run 800 meters. So he was very thin, very tall, very good body, if you can say so. First year we started 2006, he was competing 11:05, 22:20. He did a 400 meter race, 47.9. Everybody, oh shit, 400 meters. He's going to be a 400 meters runner. I saw that he could be pretty fast. So I wanted to increase the speed all the time if I can, as a coach. So this is what we did. 2007, he has some injury to the back, hamstrings. Then we find a chiropractor, and after that we have this chiropractor, one of the best in Sweden in the team. So without him, it's very difficult to train if the athlete is not okay. If the hip is wrong position, then you have hamstring problems all the time. And that's what he fixed. So for I have to learn a lot from chiropractors and naprapaths. My friend Vesa Koskela, an old boxer, is a naprapath. He's from Salla, here north of Finland. He learned me a lot. Muscles, chin, how it all works. You know, only the chin, taking care of the back while you're running like this. Then you have this, while you're running like that. With the chin, the back is the same, and it's no power. So it's a lot to learn from them. And then you have to really listen to them and let them do the work without interference. So we started to think that we have to increase the speed. So 2008, something happens a little bit. We still run 400 meters, but we go down to 10:65, 21:36. And he 21:36, and he become a Swedish champion in 200 meters. In rain and headwind, I think he won with 4 or 5 meters. We saw something. This is interesting. He can be very good, I think. Still runs on 400 meters. 2009, he said more speed, little bit, 10:55, 21:11, 46:76. And then maybe you wonder, why doesn't he run 400 meters more? Anyone? He's like Moa Hjelmer. He doesn't like to run 400 meters. They're not motivated for it all the time. Moa is many times not motivated to run 400 meters. Because it's very, very heavy to run 400 meters. And a lot of acid, and a lot of mentally things. So Moa's a couple of times being so close to just disappear in the qualifications. Because she's not there. In Gothenburg, when she took a bronze, she was not there in the qualification. I think she passed with 100 of the, you know, more than me. I mean, it was the same in Moscow. She was not on the toes. She was not there. She go out and think, oh, it's easy. No, it's no problem. Started to counting. Oh, 1, 2, 3. It's good. She was in top shape. It's the same with me. You don't want to run 400 meters. And if you don't want to run 400 meters, why shall I tell them to run 400 meters? That's nothing I'm going to do with them. They have to have the motivation, inspiration from themselves, not from me. So Neil, don't have the Johan Wissmann hat. And Moa don't have the Johan Wissmann hat. Moa wants to run 100 and 200 meters, if she can decide. But she's pretty good at 400 meters, so we have a little problem. We started to go down. You can see something happens around here. But if you look at 200 meters, it goes down all the way. And that's interesting for me because I'm training to do 200 meters, not 150 meters, with a high knee all the way. Go out in the curve and run with a high knee. Without the knee, we don't come anywhere. You understand what I mean? Too many run with heel power like this. No heel. You can never do any knee lift with that. So you have to try to take it away. The big heel. And do it more knee lift. That's what I think. That's what's happening. Going down, something happens here. And then 2013, he's not a short sprinter, he cannot run 60 meters. He's going to have a small chance against the other 60-meter runners in Sweden, and also Finland, I think. But we have 40 more meters to run. And after 60, 50 meters, something happens. And if you don't have the knee, you're gone, in my point of view. And there, he started to run. So 10:26 in the beginning of June. It was good condition, but it was not in top form. 20:53 also in June. So he was qualification to the World Championships. Then he go to IKEA a couple of weeks later and lifting a table. And then was no good. The back was really injured. Nothing really exceptionally big, but couldn't run. But we went to World Championships and we decided that probably he will not get more hurt, so he could run. To get the experience, warm up, be in the World Championships and everything. But this is what I think is very interesting for me. All the way, personal record every year in 200 meters. So therefore, I'm a little bit more confident today. This is the Swedish record. So I think we have something to look at. 10:18, Johan Wissmann 2013. It's not so big in Sweden, but this is the 4th time ever in Sweden. This is the 2nd time ever in Sweden. But it doesn't matter when the record is 2030. I have a big team. 12, 13 people. I have a young guy, Axel Byron, best in Sweden, 22 years old, number 2 in Sweden, 47.0. Training a little bit with him. He has to increase his speed, living in Gothenburg. One day he can do 47, next day he can do 48. So that's his problem more. And he has been a guy who's running the first 200 meters at 24, I think. And then he started to run, because that's the way he thinks. But Kent Olsen has been very cruel to him. And Moa has learned him a lot. So now he's starting to run faster, first 200 meters. This is the real Armfelt in Sweden. It's a big general family, and Carl is also here in Finland, in Friherre. He started with 11:30, 23.0, and after a while he did 10:65, 21, 58. And that's funny for me. It's not always this. It's always nice to see everybody increase, because then I can look at my training and something is working. Are you with me? Then I can sit at home, but something is working, but I have to develop myself all the time. I have to be better. So this is nice also because he's training 2 times a week. And now I think he's up to 3 times a week. He's jumping, he's working in a bag, high up and everything. He has a technique, it's not so good. He has difficulties also to learn the technique. If you tell him anything, it's very difficult to, what they say, absorb it. Absorb, yeah. Yeah, it's the same. It's a problem to absorb. If I say something to me, do that, you can go back and do it directly. Maybe that's a talent thing too. Elin Westerlund is a good 100-meter hurdle girl, Swedish champion. She come to the group now in the springtime. And I think she can be very fast also, like Miss Isabella Rinus, who was a big talent. 2010, I think I met you first time in Portugal. Team European Championships. Isabella's been doing about 11:88, and after that, not so much increasing, and it will become more hurdle, I think, for Isabella. But I see a lot of running also in Isabella, so this is my thing to develop them. Try everything to get them faster. And really run 200 meters all the way. So she's new. Another a friend of mine taking care of the hurdles. I don't care about the hurdles. I don't stare there as a coach and I think that I can everything. It's just crazy. If somebody is better than me in hurdles, just help her, please. It's the same with strength when I come. I don't do the strength. I have professional guys who help you with strength instead of me standing there. Trausti Stefansson is from Iceland. He's a talent. He's been sick all the year, 6 times I think. He runs about 47, I think. But he's now in Sporve again, and hopefully I can do him a little bit better. This is a guy, Jude Kibondo, also taking care of now. He has been standing on his platform for many years. But I see some talents, and I'm trying to everything to develop him also. New guy, Truls, is going to be a pilot, studying at the military academy, going to fly JAS, the Swedish fighter. And then I have some more. Marie is down in Växjö. This is Moa's husband. She married. She was marrying Christian this September, October. Yes. So now Moa is married to Christian. And Christian is in the group, training with us. And I think he is the best of everyone, because he did around 30 seconds in 200 meters when he started. Now he's doing 23.5. So I think he's the best one. Vega is the dog. Moa and Christian's dog. She's always with us in the wood. We have been 6 weeks in the wood training. I love the wood in this time of year. Isabella has been injured in the summertime in the foot. They have been out 8 weeks. We do a lot of running in the wood. To get a big platform, to be in good shape, doing a lot of races. I will show you a little bit what we are doing. Is it too quickly? Well, I'm going too fast?
Fast people race.
Yeah, there's a lot of fast people here. I can see that. Moa. Moa was training for a hard woman in Sweden, and she was that close to give up. She was so tired of running and everything. But 2010, the phone was ringing and she asked me if she could come over to me and train. And I think that's the biggest talent I ever seen. So you know my answer. So 2010 we were starting to train. We go to Portugal, training with a Swedish team. Moa had no motivation. It was zero. She was crying. I think I was almost 100% sure that she was going to quit. So back to the motivation. And what's happened? Well, as I see in Sweden, it's hurt my stomach to see 15, 16 years old go out and running 400 meters very early. In the beginning, they fly. After a year, they cry. All the acid, all the mental things coming to them, and they start to become injured. And Moa was in the top. But we have some better girls. One of them I trained later, Lotta. She was the best in Sweden, 55 indoor, 15 years old. But they're not there today. They're gone. And Moa, she had to run 400 meters by her coach. So when I took over, I think it was the end of it. But we talked a lot. I said to her, forget 400 meters. Let's start sprinting and do what you want to do. Do the things that you are happy with. And do the things that you feel good with. Oh, I'm starting to think of it. And I said, first time in my life, I said, you're the biggest talent I ever seen. So I was a little bit tough there. Otherwise, I'm very soft. So I said, what are you going to do if you quit? Are you going to sit home in the sofa when the Rootsy County starts and the Finn Camp, and then what are you going to think? She was starting thinking like that. It took some while. Okay, she said, okay, we can do some sprint. I don't know if it's right, but Moa is a very special person, so I said, well, what do you want to train? Decide for yourself. Okay, said she. So she started to decide what she wanted to train. And I think that was good. Because 3 weeks later, she phoned me up. I had to talk to you, Ronald. Yeah? You have to decide now what I'm going to train. This is not working. And then, as you can understand, I was very happy. Because then we have made the first step. That I can decide to help her. Okay, we can do this, we can do that. So we started to sprinting. And that was really good because she started, you can see indoor breathing, outdoor breathing, what's happening. She got a little bit faster inside, 782, 2444 down to 750, 2332. 5204 is in the Gothenburg. And I think she's faster than that, but she has to be more power when she runs, more. Never give up. 2332 inside, I think is very good, but now we have Irene Ekelund. She was running with 1 meter before Moa. And if you do 2332 inside, if we have the sprint coaches there, you can think a little bit what you should do outside. But it's difficult when 400 meters are going well. Then 400 takes all the planning and everything, and we have to do 400 meters there. So it's difficult to get in good shape for 100 and 200 meters outside. But I have a dream to sprint with Moa 1 year, just sprint 100 and 200 meters. Because I'm thinking she easily can go on in 23 seconds. I don't like to say that, but now I did it. I never talk times with my athletes. I don't think it's good. It's not good for me, it's not good for the athlete. But I think she has big possibilities. Because she has a problem when she's sprinting. She has a very nice 400 meter step. You can see her running. She's very relaxed and the step is functioning very good. But then when we go over to around 100, 200 meters, she forgets and she can go out 200 meters and running with the 400 leg. It's too much back kick. So it's a little bit difficult to get you to sprint and go the shortest way. So that's pretty good increasing. Like Ella, if you see her results, something happened with the speed, and the speed has to be better before you have to be a better 400 meter runner, I think. You have to have the speed. If you don't have the speed, it's going to be tough. I mean, we can say, look at Clyde Hart, he's running 600, 300, 500 meters every day. Yeah, but what sort of athletes do we have? Is it like the people we have? I don't think so. Just guys who do 20.0 to 200 meters. You should maybe have girls who are doing 22, 22.5. I mean, how can we compare that? How can we transfer the training to be a copycat to try with our athletes? Then we have to put more rest sometimes when we read it, I think. If I read something, oh, that's a good thing, Clyde Hall, okay, but is this going to work more? Oh, I have to put more rest if it's going to work. Otherwise, it's too heavy. So, this has been the big thing to get her faster. And this year, she was not in top shape, so we landed at 23.19. 11.58 once, 2.1. She's not the fastest girl in the box. But after 30, 40 meters, it starts happening somewhere. So, a couple of years ago, we were going to the Swedish Championships. She had been in the European Championships, run 23.20, silver medal, minus headwind 1.4, I think, something. Very good time. She was leading all the way. But she lost in the few meters from the goal. And she started to be more happy, enjoy what we were doing. And when we were going to the Swedish Championship in Gävle, we had done some 250 meters, nothing more. And I saw that, shit, she's running fast in 250 meters. Long rest in the summertime, 12 minutes, 15 minutes, 3.250. She's doing good times. After that she said, I'm going to run 400 meters in Gävle. I said, fine. Do that if you want. It's up to you. So we want to relate Gävle, and she ran away on the Swedish record, 51.58. And, well, it was incredible to see. I think girl number 2 was 30 meters behind. So there, she started to find herself, oh, maybe I should run 400 meters sometime. Then we go to the European Championships. Everybody wasn't there, but in the final, she was really, what do you say, talented. She was there mentally. She really wanted to do that. And we were sitting all the Swedes after 300 meters, you know, in Helsinki. All the Swedes were sitting there. So when she come 300 meters, we were screaming and she heard us. So she had a little bit of energy, so first time she ran also the last 100 meters. And she won, 51.13. And then she took the Louis Skoglund's record, old record, inside and outside. So that was fun. But this year, This is the best time outside. 52:39 in Moscow. Because she was not there. Questions? Just ask if you want to. So decreasing indoor, just 3/10, 1 second, 200 meters better, from 24:44 to 23:32. 2 seconds in the 400. Outside also 2.5 seconds in 200 meters. I just wrote today, this is the best times that she had done. I always take the time from the first move, when she moves the arms or something, not the first step. In Moscow she did 30.0 2 days before. 30.0 is incredibly good. We had some guys standing there watching and they said, what the fuck? How fast was that? It was 30.0. It was a personal record with 6/10, I think. I think the last one was 30.6. So the shape was top. This is the best time she done in South Africa. We do the 300 today. She right away 36.5. Let's move on. Then we can go home before Moscow because we have this ticket. Because she was a European championship, she didn't have to qualification to the Moscow. And that was not good because I had very hard to get her on the track. And to get her in shape for Moscow. She was like, I said, no, it's no problem. We'll run in Moscow. So before Moscow we could do about 38.5 in training. And then we come down to Croatia and something started to happen. I mean 2 weeks before. This is her personally in training. Sometimes she can run so you get red in your face. Because she can be so fast on training sometimes so you don't believe it. And I mean, these times are very good. 16.8, that's pretty good. She could, with that time, run much more faster than 200 meters. She can do 11.1 for a move. She can do 6.8. So she can have such a speed sometimes. And that's what I think is something to build on. If she had the motivation to continue run 400 meters. Have you seen it before, the motivation? With your athletes? I think we have destroyed many people on 400 meters in Sweden. Because it's very heavy to run. And I think we forget that. So I'm a trainer, I'm never screaming at my active, I talk to them. So I have to have a communication. So this time, I think is very good, 30.0. But we have to do it when we compete also. So I think we come back to motivation, inspiration, and a lot of humor to feel good when you're having a team. I'm not an officer, I'm not standing and screaming. That's nothing for me. Because we do this because we think it's the best thing in the world, or so we have a lot of fun in the team when we're training. And other people don't like that. But why do I have to care? When Moa and Isa is training, I have to be the 1 hour more because they're talking all the time. And they have fun and they warm up 30, 40 minutes more. But it doesn't matter because we have the time, and when we are running, we are running. And that's when you have to have the mental thing. Now it's time to race, and they started to race and they do it good. So I don't have to stand there and point at them and screaming. No. I can show you this in Moscow. So I just wrote it today because this is what I did before we were running 400 meters. And I'm not running 300 meters so close to a competition. I want more to have speed. So we did 120, 250, 60 meters before 400 meters in Moscow. And then she did 30.6, 30.070. And I was satisfied with those times because I wanted to be fast. But 52.38. After she was going to running 200 meters, we started to train again. She did 17.0, maybe 12.15 rest. She did 30.6, and I don't remember the 60. So she was in good shape, and she was fast. Then, like everybody else, we got very bad in our stomachs. Or get sick 3 days. I was sick 6 days, living on the toilet. So when we started warming up for 200 meters, you could directly see it's no power. It's not that she had no power when she was warming up. She went out and she did 23.32, and I think Lapala did about 23.10 in the same race.
Indoors?
No, outdoor in Moscow. I think
they
were in the same.
3 hours.
Yeah. So it's okay if she's done 23, but she was totally exhausted. So we tried to rest, and she was good, and then we started to train. And what's happened? We come down and we do this that I like 100 meters, 80 meters, 60 meters, just walking back. And you can see she started with 11.3, go back to 89.3, go back 6.8. I was thinking, what the fuck? She's back. She's really fast. She rested 12-15 minutes. The sun, no wind. She started with 11.5, so you have to slow down. And then she got 80 meters. And the quadriceps just cracked. And then we had the medical team watching her all the week. They said, oh, there's something maybe in the front of the quadriceps. I'm like, no, that's no problem. When we come home, this is why I think it's important. We go to our chiropractor. The hip was not correct. Sneak. It was not in correct position, and that's totally 100% important for sprinters. If the hip is not correct, we're going to have injuries. That's what's happening. And today she still can feel something. We don't know about the fibers, but we have to check that. So we go about once a week, we go to our chiropractor to check the hip and the back and the neck. Why I'm telling about chiropractor, because I think they are better to manipulation than some naturopaths. That's my opinion. Fredrik is educated in England. He's super with manipulating. And we have also an acupuncture now that Neil goes in Uppsala, who has done incredible things. I was really not so happy, because you think that acupuncture, you've seen it before, small needles, oh, feels good, and after a day or something, goes back. But this guy, as you know, he used these needles. So he go into the nerve system. He fixed Stefan Ternud's back in hamstrings for a couple months ago, I think, or it was the beginning of summer. We have done something with knee that I've never seen before. Because in sprint, as you know, the iliopsoas, the big muscle here, that pull the knee lift, if that is too short, then we're going to have a lot of injuries. Because if this is too short, turns you back, you can't push away, then you got hamstrings problem. So that's most of the important thing. Check the hip, and always to stretch the psoas. If you don't do that, I think it's going to be a problem. It's easy to we just found out if you are not really stretching yourselves too short. You can never pull away on the ground if it's too short. You're going to be here or something, you're never going in this position. So that's something we have to check all the time. And I think we have very little injuries now, these days, after we have this very chiropractor and all the others routine around. This is what I work with in, now we've been outside, November, December. One day I do a lot of running with 350, 300, 250. Mondays I do a longer running. I do the heavy running on Mondays. I think I found out something. The sprinters want to go down and do the shortest thing in the end of the week. No. But I use Monday to do the heavy things. So this is up to everybody's fantasy, imagination, what you can do. Because I don't want to do the same running every Monday. When I was starting as a coach, you know what we did. Every Tuesday, 2.5, 200 meters, 6.60 meters, every week almost the same. Now I try never to do the same in a couple of weeks. Do that. I mean, the same training can come back after a month or something like that, but not so close. So this is what I like to do. A lot of running. 3 series. I mean, if we are 350, they walk back, they do 300, they do 250 maybe, 0.3. Just walking rest. This is why I build up. They do about 9. They have a lot. 9 races, 9 training repetitions. So when we're up in the 9 repetitions, I mean it's a lot of running. Just add all the meters together and you see that sometimes we're up in 2 kilometers running. When Isabel came, I was always crying. 2, 3 races. Now she can run 9 races in the woods. No problem. And that's some good ground to come in and train after that. Because they have the strength to run. Endurance, like we told you. They have the endurance. If you don't have the endurance, how can you train so much? And how can you run 200 meters if you don't have a good technique and run all the way? So this is more my fantasy, what I do. Don't try to do the same thing all the time. Just thinking, what can I do? I can change the training program the same day. I can change the training program when I'm there because Lisa is tired. Okay. Because I am rotating 3-5 well, not today for Isabel. You have to do something else. The short sprinters can do also this, but maybe I do 300 there, 250, 200, just for an example. I don't use the short sprinters in 350 meters. Maybe sometime. I think you have tried it 2 times. Just because of running and don't be too scared of running over 300 meters. In this time and this beginning when I go indoor, we never do any maximum speed. Never. I only use maximum speed when we are going to compete. This was something I quit for many years ago. And something has happened with the speed when I stopped doing it. Instead of always every week 6.60 meters, 6 minutes rest. Nothing happens, maybe something. When they are good trained, they do the same times with just walking rest. Because they are relaxed. But when we are competing, then I started to do longer rest and everything, of course. Wednesday I go down in the meters. So Wednesday is a little bit easier. I go a lot around 250, 200, 150. I'm in love with 250 meters. I think it's an incredible distance to train. If you run 400 meters and can run really good in 250 meters, you just have 150 meters to go. So it could be like this, 2.300, and 2.250, 2.200, 2.3. All the way trying to find something new. And there can be, like everything else you ever see that you have seen that you use every day. But I try to make them run a lot. In my point of view, I mean, people go out to 15 races and so.
What is the intensity, or what you say for your athletes? If they ask how fast we should run, or
this is not. No, I never talk. No, yeah, more technical, but this is outside, and we inside. I put some more rest into those races. Give them a little bit more time when we go indoor, because the technique is going to improve so much when you go indoor, and just what do you say? Give them some more rest. I think this is everything. Rest is what do you want with the rest? What do you want with your training? That is just walking. So if you talk percent, I never talk percent, but sometimes I have to. 70, 75% maybe. Work with the body. They jog 3 kilometers before. And then we do some technique in the woods, and then they do the training. Pretty fast training. Don't take so much long time to do it. So low speed. But now when we got in this week, then directly, maybe if I do the same, I put 6 minutes, 5 minutes rest, about 350, 300, 250, in that, like an example for that. Then I can put, if you do 350, 300, 250, 200, 150, then I can put 5 minutes directly. And something happens with the technique. And that's what I want. I want them to run with a good technique. Not slow when they are sprinters. Not too much slow.
What do you mean good technique?
Sorry?
What do you mean good technique?
I'm going indoor.
Good technique.
Sorry?
You want them to run with good technique. What do you understand by good technique?
The good technique is coming when I put more rest in it. So that's the way I'm thinking. When I go indoor, I start to give them more rest between the races, and the technique starting to increase.
What do you mean by technique? What is
The
that?
technique is not so good when you're running outdoor in 70%. But you have to do it. But the technique is not so good. You know what I should see with the technique.
What do you mean by good technique? What do you want from their step?
I'm going to show you. It's a lot to try to get rid of the back kick. To run more, to lift the knee directly. But not in those speed, you can't do it. You have to relax and just run all the time. Just say flow. Wednesday, a little bit shorter races. Thursday, when we've been outside, we have been in the forest 60, 80 meters, 100 meters uphill. Not so, but slightly uphill. And the only thing we're training Thursday is knee lift. So we go out, warm up, and then we do about 6 times knee lifts. And that's what I want them to work with, the knee lift. It's a little bit, in that training you have to think about the stretch. If you miss the stretch when you're starting to work with the psoas, it's crazy. It's going to be bad. So we have to be very important with the stretch. Because in the beginning I was also forgetting that. So So we go out, sometimes they jog after they do the knee lift, but I think in this way, what do I want? You know, I want him to do high knees in the uphill, not low knees. So now we do just the knees and then walking down, rest a little bit, and then we do it again. Nothing special, we use one leg because I think it's much better to do one leg at a time, because when they do a knee lift with one leg at a time, they can use the other one with really pulling forward and active foot. And the other leg is like, and you get in the hip, was it correct? You get in the hip, you can work with the arms, and it's very heavy. To do 60, 70, 80 meters up the hump, it's very heavy. You're really tired, so I don't do anything more. I don't need to do anything more, I think. Yeah, that's the way I think about kneeling. And then they go back, do the right, do the left, and then one time with the both. And that's much more easier. That's the only...
LS or
A long sprint and short sprint, sorry. So I just don't, I mean the short sprinters are doing a little bit shorter running. But I'm not afraid to let them use to run in the beginning, in the, like now in the autumn, that they can run a lot, even a sprinter, because then I should be done something wrong if Neil does 10:26 and he's been doing some 300 meters in the woods. So I don't think it's no problem with that. Because a lot of the people talk that you have to train what you're going to be good at. That's easy for me too. But if you say that to a coach who's new, but I'm going to run 100 meters, so we're going to run 100 meters all the time and do a lot of strength. No, I don't think so. But it's easy to say that. I think you can do much more running. And something happens when I did this much more running and increase the technique. So this is what we do after. When I go indoor, Thursday is more 150, 120, and 60 meters back and forward. I love this kind of training. 60 meters, then you have to decide how much rest, in what position am I now? Oh, it's November. Then they can have a shorter rest between 60 meters, going down maybe just rest 30 seconds or something. And you can do how much you want. Just sit down and think, what do I want to do? 3.4, 4.4, 4.3, whatever. I use this in the summertime. I don't know, I just see what's happened. I use it a lot of Neil and the sprinters. And they have the same level almost all the summer. Because instead for running too much, and I put in this. And it's really good. Because Neil can do, if I do 3.3 in the summer and I make the rest 1 minute between, or maybe 1:30, I mean it's going very fast. You can do 6.3, 6.4, 6.5. And that is showing me that the endurance is good. And I keep up the running with this after competitions and so on. Otherwise, I believe I tried before to after competition to use running on grass, barefoot. I think it's very good for the body to recovering. Because
how steep is the hill?
oh, it's pretty good upward, and it's long. So if you do from the bottom to the top, I think it's 120 meters. But nobody does that. I've been doing that with the pony train. Also, when we go in indoor, we do the knee lift after the training, very shortly, 30 meters. Do the same after we've been training. Then we can do much more and higher knee lift. But you don't need more than 90%, I think, and 90 degrees. So because if the Heiner get too high, then it's very complicated to run with that. So this is the way we work. After all races, we always do 4, 5, 60 meters after the training, barefoot. Just to let the acid go away and run barefoot. But that's something you have to really see how much can you do run barefoot. Isa cannot run barefoot because she has a problem with the foot, so then you shouldn't run barefoot. But if you take it a little bit easy, you can do it sometimes. On Saturdays, I do the same training. That's the only training that comes back to me. That's, can we say, some quality training that we have. And every Saturday we do 180, 60. This is something that I have seen they have been much faster after we have done this. So in the beginning, what month are you in? How much rest? Again, how much rest? I mean, that's telling you everything. How much percent? So now we take it easy. But it's very heavy to run 100 meters in pretty good percent. Walk down, do 80 meters. Walk down, do 60 meters. 3 times. Sometimes up to 4 times for the 400 meters runs. I love this distance. And I see that they get very, very strong to run it. So the first series can take it a little bit easier. But I wanted to go faster and faster and always quit the fastest way. But they can be very tired in the third series. But try always to do the best run latest. And what do I do something that sprinters like. So when we come in Saturday, they love this because now it's sprint. They love running 60 meters. So these can be very fast sometimes. When I go up, and if we have some competition inside, maybe I go up to this time, maybe 8 minutes. Then I can go up to 10, 12, 15. Doesn't matter what do I want. Do I want quality? Okay, 50 meters rest, series out. And then he can do 10.0, 9.9 sometimes. He can do 6.3, 6.2.
And why in Saturday?
Sorry?
Why in Saturday? Not in Tuesday or Wednesday? This
It's
training
always
again?
Saturday.
Why?
Because I'm always I want to go down in the week. Start with the heaviest, easy Wednesday, a little bit less Thursday, and the fastest on Saturday. That's the way that I've been deciding myself.
But body is tired.
Sorry?
And after 5 days, body is very tired, and you make sprint in the day.
If they are tired on Saturdays, no.
No.
They
But
could
you
be
make
tired
it
because it's only.
for 5 days training.
Yeah, but they rest. Maybe this will explain better. This is what I do. Well, like you asked, Monday, the longest races, 300. Tuesday, strength. I think a lot of recovering, so they don't run on Tuesdays. Wednesday, a little bit shorter. Thursday, the hill or inside shorter races. Friday, almost rest. Or maybe some strength. So we only run 4 times a week. Because I think the recovering is so important. If you don't get recovery, you're just going down. So this is something I believe in, to go down. Don't ask why. Or maybe answer, but this is something I found out that it's working for me and for my team. I mean, they are. You can think mentally here. They really like this Saturday because they are going to run faster.
And Saturday is all release competitions from, no?
Yeah, in the winter club, if they're going to compete. But then you do different training. If they're going to compete, then I have to get them in shape, much more in top shape. That's what I've been running at. What do you want in rest? What do you want in speed? That's the thing. I think it's the big answer. So the big question. What do you want? How fast? Just roll. So these I can do in the summertime. But if I do this in summertime, maybe I'll do 2 times 180-60. And I may have 50 minutes rest between. And then we're talking quality. But when we're doing 8 minutes 3 times, it's not the same percent, as you understand. That's the way I'm thinking. I put in 40 meters this year. I get very tired of it. Because it was the first time in this Saturday at Busan. So they did 180-60 and then 40 meters. But you can look at the sprinters that were very thrilled when they can end with 40 meters. Oh, nice. The first races was very slow because they come from the wood. But then they started to increase. I think Moa did 5.1 last race in 40 meters in ordinary shoes. That was what the guy was training. But she can do that many times, running the fastest race, the last one. But this is the day, that's nothing I'm going to take away. I'm going to keep Saturdays like that until I found out something new maybe. I want to I also want to really try to make them understand that I want them to run fastest in the end, not in the beginning. And many athletes have very difficult with this. They're starting too fast in the first year. And then I think that we can quit, because it's not giving anything. So it doesn't matter if Neil do the beginning, he can start at 10.8 first year. No problem. Can do 11, I don't care. But the second rate, then you go down. And the last, more. And then I think we are in the right position. Always try to do the fastest running the last one. I think that we have fast fibers, why not use them? Question? So, this is what I'm using every week. So now they know that Monday is the heavy day. They have been resting Sunday, they come Monday, and they know what they then going to do the longest training. But I never tell them what to train. Because, I don't know, but if you know that you're going to run 350, 300 meters before you come to the training, maybe a lot of energy has been spent because they go thinking.
What kind of rhythm do you have in your planning?
Sorry?
What kind of rhythm do you have in planning? Do you do 2 or 3 these weeks hard and we have easier weeks in between, or is all?
Yeah. I don't think I see anything about too middle and heavier. I mean, we did it on the 80s, I think, and we have this at the start, like easy, heavier, heaviest. Yeah. No, so I try. Then the only thing I do when you indoor and it starts to be competition, then we start to run much faster. If we go abroad, go to South Africa, maybe 3 weeks, they come home, some of them will compete, and then we are starting to run much faster. So that's...
Are you doing these Saturday trainings 180, 60 meters, always with walking rest?
Because I believe in the walking rest, because they have a very high endurance speed, and they are running very relaxed. If I do the same, we can do it in the summer. If we do 180, 60 in the summer, with 10, 12 minutes, yeah, if they're going to compete. certainly. But the more they rest, the more tense they get. If they come down indoor, you know we're going to be doing flying 30 meters. And we speed it like this, nothing happens. So I think they learn a lot to have a walking rest, because they're much more relaxed. So they can work with that when it starts to be competition. Some other thoughts? Is it understandable or is it difficult?
How is this strength training now? You thought that somebody else is supervising.
I will come into the strengths too.
Okay.
Talk about, because I think there's going to be some discussion when I'm talking strength. I don't use max speed now. As I said, I think that's important to know. I don't use max speed now. But as I said, these can go very fast. So it's on a very high percent sometimes. But I don't do 6.60 meters or 150, 120, 180, 60 with 12 minutes rest now. Never. But when we are going to compete, yes. Then I started with this more high intensity and more rest. Certainly. Because something happens then. We had, forget something that I think was very important. We had Nick Bedore 2 years ago in Sweden. He's from Australia, I know him. Trained Kathy Freeman for 9. He had world-class people on 800 meters, 1500 meters. I think 3,000, 5,000, 10,000. It was very interesting in my ears because he was very straight. And just to give you something, he talked about 400 meters races. I saw some training. Oh, I want to try that. I think it was something I thought was pretty good. 200. I think it was just already 1 minute with Kathy Freeman, and then 200 meters again. Rest maybe 12, 15, and once again. And when you try that on your athletes, you're going to kill them. Because they're not the same training. So I was then, if I'm going to use that, maybe they have to have 3 minutes here. 4 minutes. Because they have to survive, because it's going pretty fast. And maybe more series powers before I do it once again. So I saw some training there, which was very interesting. But the most interesting thing he said, just to give you, because I was really listening, we had the Swedish team there. And like we always say, we have to do a lot of tests. I'm not so much for testing because I don't know what it's giving us all the time. But we were supposed to do VO4 max. Yeah, max VO2. Max VO2. That's what we were supposed to do on this meeting. So the girls and the boys were down running VO2 on Busan. And then this Nick was asking, what are you doing? Oh, you know, it's going to be tested VO2 max. Why? And we had the other, oh, no, it's very good to know the VO2 max. He just laughed. They don't need VO2 max, they're sprinters. Kathy Freeman, she walked to the store, maybe. She did all the training on the track. It's pretty interesting. People can be maybe thinking too much of this in 400 meters because we don't know how much we need. But we need a lot of running. But how much VO2 max do we need? I don't think anybody can answer that. And it's very interesting what Nick said, because you're training 800 meters people, 1500 meters people. And if you go from 400 meters to 800 meters, we know that you do a lot of more running, mile per week. Just interesting what he said. I thought it was very nice to hear. Because Mo is not good in VO2 max. And if is it that I'm going to increase? I don't think so. But I think I have to increase the speed and the endurance. That's what I think. If you're not fast enough, you're not going to run fast in 400 meters if you don't do 22 and then 22 on the last 200. I think it may be one person who's going to do that. Otherwise, you can see at Johan Wisman that he was opening when he did 44 and a half. I mean, it was full speed. Almost. That's what we are looking at. Then you have to see what's the best opening for my athlete at 200 meters. I think Norway, the semi-final in the European Championships, she opened at 23.6. But in the final, she was opening 24, I think. And she ran better the last one. So that's very interesting to try to learn. So, if we go into a little bit of strength, I'm going to put out my shin because I'm not too much for too much strength. We have to do it, but how much do we do it? How much do we have to do it? You have to be strong. If you're a 60 meters runner, you do a lot of weightlifting. But I think you are only going to run 60 meters then, if you're not increasing the technique. Because we don't know how much power you can use when you're running. A lot of people, coaches at home, talk a lot about strength. Okay? I don't believe in that. If you're 400 meters runner, how strong do you have to be? More muscle, more oxygen. So this is what I think. I can only think. I am not no right, sorry, but this is what I'm thinking, so you know that. So the strength, Moa and Neil is not so strong. Neil doesn't have a chance with short sprinters to doing squats or anything else. No chance. Maybe do a little bit over 100 kilos in squats. But he do 10, 26. And that picks up with if you do more strength. Maybe I get more injured if I do more strength. So I use Rika Nilsson in the Swedish Olympic Committee, old weightlifter. So he takes care of Moa and Neil. And that's what I want, to have these professional guys to learn the technique instead of me standing there and maybe say something wrong with Lisa. As I see a lot of coaches does. So I have the opportunity to use Rika. I mean, he has learned them to lift. It's incredible to see. They have such good technique today. And he do a lot for the stomach. I say my core. Do a lot of things with the core. Just to increase the core all the time. Stability. That's what he do. Not so much lifting. But he does do the 2 feet on the ground. Nothing else. So that's nice to see. Because what you say when you do half feet. Sorry? Dead? Yeah, just from this position. We don't go from the bottom, we do always from this position. I think Neil started with 60, 65 kilos. Power clean. So this is what Rickard used a lot of, the power clean. Now I think Neil is up to maybe 100 kilos. Isa is doing 75, so it's not so strong, that one. But the technique is going better and better. So I have no problem to give away that thing. It's very interesting to be there and watch. I've been training with Rick at weightlifting for many years ago when we were studying at Boston in Sweden. But I don't think I'm close to him. In any case of trying to learn them how to lift technically good. Okay. So that is why I'm wondering how strong do you have to be to run 400 meters? I have asked many people that, nobody have ever explained it for me. People who do a lot of strength and arms never come. I mean, I don't think you have to do too much in squats because you're running 400 meters. I'm going to tell you something else. What's forbidden in my team, and then you can think for yourself. We never do one leg curve. That's forbidden. We never jump on one leg. That's forbidden. Because all the ways I learned by the naprapaths and the chiropractors, that this is one way that we get a lot of injuries from. Do you know one leg curve? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, no. I say it wrong. When you do squats with one leg. This is very, I mean, you can see it everywhere. Young people, they go out, put a lot of weight, you know, put up this foot there, and they're starting to do one leg squat. Oh, nice. And then you can see the hip when you're starting. It's crazy. I mean, it's so much injury from that sort of training because the hip is going out the right direction, like we call it. It's not in the, it's going to be in the wrong position.
What if that rear leg is on the ground?
I think so.
I mean, not on the box, but on the ground.
Yeah, and not so much weight maybe.
Is it dangerous?
I can't answer that. I can only answer, I think, what I think about this, because I don't use it. You know Tore Gustafsson? He's working with Koji, the hammer thrower, best in the world. I asked him, do you do this training? Never. Never, ever. Look at the humble up. But if that's Koji, the big Japanese fellow, but he said that he used, what do you mean? This, with the hand clap. Handbars. He can use handbars sometimes with Koji. And I have not seen one sprinters getting better because they do this. But we have a lot of people in Sweden say, you have to do this. No. Same with jumping on one leg. It's the same direction with the hip. If I jump with one leg up here, my hip is going like, it's crazy. Sorry about that. You can see my face. I get angry. Why do we do that? I don't know. Why do we jump with sprinters over hurdles with one leg? I mean, think of the power. Oh, good. If, I think, you take away that, you're going to have less injury in your training. That's what I think. This is something I get very exciting or exalterad över. Because it's a lot of things to, every coaches have their own way. That's important to know. We have the coaches who's believing a lot of strength. But today we have the strength and we have a lot of special training today. That's important to do things that you are not so strong in your stomach and core. That's very important today, we know. I don't think you have to do so much hamstrings training either, I don't know. But we don't do too much. So I think that you can do a lot with the things that Rick can do with Moa and Neil, the way he's working with them. It's not doing squat with Neil with 150 kilos or something like that. That's also injury. If you do like this in a squat, you put the bar and you go and you drop there and do like this, the hip is going to be some else where it's going not in the right direction. So this is what the chiropractors told me. Don't do it. You can do the squats if you have a good position. You can do it. But if you're not doing it. So that's what the answer I get in Sweden with the people who talk a lot about strength. No, I don't like this one leg squat. Well, you're doing it wrong. Okay. It's fine. You're doing it wrong, but you're doing it right. So I think it can be nice for other athletes in other, if you're a thrower or maybe jumping, I think you have to do. I think it's definitely you have to do something if you jump again, long jump or high jump. But I don't believe in it. So for me, it's forbidden. Is it okay? Can I do so? Or are you going to be mad at me? Yeah, I can say something. We don't have too much injuries. Why? Because we have the chiropractor, yes. Because I'm taking away things that I don't believe in. And we do a lot of jumping today. In sprint, in running, everywhere, it's a lot of jumping. We do jumps when we warm up today. We do the technical thing. We do jumps, yes, to warm up. Mostly sprint jumping like that. We do it in the warm up, but never more. Something this was really funny when who was taking a goal medal in Helsinki. I got to the hotel room and got a phone call. And who do you think it was? Yeah, it was Chris the Garden boy. Oh, good. But one thing, don't ever jump with more. I mean, it's a pretty interesting thing to hear from a sprinter who's back in the 70s been jumping a lot. And they were jumping and they were jumping. And they have their injuries. I have friends who have been operated, I don't know how many times. Knees, hamstrings. They were, I don't know how much they were jumping. But if you look at the football field, they were jumping all the football field, resting, jumping back and jumping in front. It's not the way we run. So it's interesting for me how Mr. Garten would say, don't jump. I mean, it was really nice to hear for me, because I was in the same thinking. So, why do I think the technique is so important? Yeah, it's to increase the step. Because I want a knee lift when I'm running sprint. Without a knee lift, I don't think it's going to be so fast that I want to be. So this is just to show you what we are doing, just like this. Every Monday, every Wednesday, this is on Swedish, we do all these technical things before we run. We warm up. This is totally forbidden to do stretch in the warm up. You don't stretch with sprint. Bigger?
Bigger.
Is it better to do that?
Are they once time
Yeah.
done, or maybe twice every movement?
If you have a younger kid that you want to have a good technique, I think you can do it 2 times. Maybe take something away. But it takes a pretty long time to do 2 times of everything. So now we do 1 time of everything. And this is to play with the nerve system. How to go from one act to another, to do it the fast way. So we do it every time. And I have tried to do certain things. just to so it's not similar every training. Starting with a lot with one leg, because I love one leg, because it's very nice to see the technique with one leg. When you can pull and work with an active foot. So what I'm meaning with the technique when you're sprinting 400 meters like Moas, you can't run with a sprint technique. You can't run with a knee lift 400 meters. That's impossible, I think. But when we're doing this, we're thinking sprint, because she increased her technique doing this. And everything is just to try to learn them. The body, the chin, as I taught, because the chin is doing with all the back. So you have to have a right position, a little bit forward, like you know. But when you're doing this, I learn them too. From the point when they leave the ground, just go away, put up your toe, and go to your knee. And then you don't have any backing. It disappears. I'm very sad to see all the sprinters, young girls, and they're running like this. Nothing happens. I mean, the knee lift starts there. But if you take away the back kick and go that way, something happens. Go much faster, much easier to run, 100 and 200 meters. So this is what we're training. So Isa is going to show you when we have some practical things. So that's what I'm writing something there in Swedish. What they have to think of when they do it. And I can say one thing to everybody, coach, if you learn your sprinters to have an active foot, you can go very long. Because if the foot is active from this position or from this position, you turn up the toes, then you are here. And then you can go out and make the hit under yourself. But now we see running, kicking out, we're long way from the body, you see the foot hits the ground. It's like driving the car with a handbrake on. So this is what I did with Neil. I started to increase his knee lift when I started to sprint with him. Today he almost can run with a knee lift when he go out the curves and have 100 meters flying. So you can see there he's maybe beating some other guys because of the technique and the knee lift. So now you know. No, I don't want Jonathan Åstrand to be anything. To doing knee lift. No, but that's very improving to do, to have this knee lift. But you cannot run with too high. Nothing is going to happen. So this is what we do. Every training takes about 20-25 minutes. So I can show you something with Isabel what we are doing, because so you understand what it means. You start with one, you go over to another, then you go over to another thing. And that's very important in these overlaps to do the technique. If they have the technique, it's so much better. I'm going to show you what I think. And every Saturday we do some special strength also. Very easily, not so much. But I think I forget many years to work with the foots and with the gastrocnemius, because it's very important in sprint and hurdles. Because when you're coming in this position, they're putting down with a lot of force. You have to be strong down there to take this force. And it's eccentric in the way. And then you go over and then you go, no, it's concentric. Then you go over and do it eccentric. Then you have to, the last thing is a kick. So what we're doing here on Saturdays is walking with the bar. Doing some hops or something, and then we turn around and go active foot. Something I like. And then we walk with it. Then you can put, if they're strong, you can put 40, 50, 60 kilos. And we're walking 30 meters just with this position and working with the feet. Nothing new, but it's very good to train because they're getting strong from it. And this is also something that they get strong from. They're working, it's like, it's a good strength with your body. It's not to forget. Utfallssteg, that's the ordinary, just go. Not so heavy, good stability, not ever do your knees in the ground. And then we just do torgång. You can do this 4 times, blocks, rest to do it. Torgång, just walk with 50, 60 kilos or something, just walk so high as possible on the toes. It's easy to forget these important things down here, as the tibius, soleus, and the foot. Everybody don't have the yeah, some of the athletes have difficulty with the movements because I want this active foot. I can do like this, but many actives can't do like this because they only come here or something. So that's also something to know. I can tell Lisa, I can tell Neil, I don't know how much I try Neil to get much more active foot, but he can't do it. So you have to understand that everybody can't lift the foot the way that you want them to come up here to work with this. And if you have youngsters who go out, you see they go out here, you have a big back kick, and they go up there and they put like this, I mean, they go in that direction in the ground. Going to, and it's going to stop the whole running system. But if you have an active foot, it's much easier to get it under the body. That's what we need in spring, I think. So this is what I work a lot with. I'm not a theoretical man, I'm a practical man. So standing in training and see, that's what I get. I think that's my strength. I have 2 eyes, but I see the technique and I can do something about it. That's something I'm proud of. My brothers and sisters, they can paint and everything. I can't paint anything. And I can hardly write. Dyslexia and ADHD, I don't know what I have. Everything. My daughter has ADHD, so I don't know what they come from. So I work a lot with my feelings. Standing, talk, sometimes I'm tired. But talk to the active, do that, try to work on that all the time. I'm crying when I see coaches go in with sprinters and they start to warm up and the coach goes away, drinking coffee. I mean, that's what's most of the important thing to stand there. To try to learn how to do a good technique. Not, oh, yeah, just warm up, I'm coming in 50 minutes. Then I'm crying. Because there's so much you can do if you learn the technique that you want to do. And try to learn the actives to do the right way. Is it okay?
Just to check, which day was this special strength?
After Saturday.
After the 100?
Yeah, because they're very tired after 180, 60. They get very tired of this. Because the speed is, the percent is going up, the speed is going up, and after 3 times 180, 60, 40, I mean it's over 800 meters running, 840 meters running, I think. They are tired. So I want to do something that's not so heavy. So therefore I put that on Saturday. Only once a week. I would like to have more, maybe once more a week, but I don't think we have the time. Because they have so much, what is a special training to do for themselves also. A couple of years everybody was doing one thing. When you come down to a Swedish team, or everybody was laying on a Pilates ball. I think I was thinking that this is going to destroy the track and field. Because not everybody is doing the Pilates one. I mean, is that the way? No, I don't think so. And I think it's like a coach, it's very difficult. How many exercises do we have to do? Some coaches are up to 40 exercises on the training. Which exercise is the most important? I don't understand. I mean, I think we have to make less of it. Just think that we have to be strong. We have to do a lot of stretching. Like I said, we never stretch in the warm-up. Knee had several hamstrings problems because I found out after a while he was stretching all the time. And the muscle starts like that, and then it starts to run, and it's cracked. So no stretching in the warm-up. Don't just warm up and doing all the old things that is very dynamic and very good for the body, and then we start with the technique. And very less injuries. But after the training, I had to change them to stretch. The iliopsoas, it's very good to stretch 2 and 2. Otherwise, it could be a little bit difficult, but if you stretch it 2 and 2, it's very good. But that's super important to stretch the iliopsoas. I think after every pass that you have. If you can do that, I think your hamstrings is going to feel much better. You know, when we're laying up and you check the hamstrings, you check the psoas, do you know that? When we just look, when you put down on a table, after you can see how short the psoas is. And when sprinters is laying down like this, and they're doing, and we're checking them out like up here, okay, pull down, and you have to see this is want to go all the way down, and many of them is near here. I mean, you're going to have problems. I've been working with knee with that for several years. If the leg is just pulling out, it's very bad. So it's a lot of stretching there. So you can't miss it because the hamstring is not feeling good about it. Something else? I mean, here, there, and everywhere, I think. But that's me. I'm not so perfect. Do you want to ask something? Yeah?
What about yearly on your progression of speeds? Do you have some kind of plan, or are you just looking how they run and let them run?
No, I want to. Every year that I train someone, I want to have something to put on. If I don't, I said it before, I'm stuck. So I know that, for an example, Moa maybe trains. If we see the world athletes on 400 meters, maybe she has 40% more to train, 50. She's not close. Neil can be faster and he can be a little bit stronger. So now I think it's time to put a little bit more strength. And I don't have to run so long distance. I think maybe with Neil now, maybe the longest I have to do is about 250. When I'm building him up. Because in the first you have to run 100 meters all the way, and then you have to run 200 meters all the way, and then you have to run 300 meters all the way, and then 400 meters. So you have to increase all the time. I love this. I've said it before. It's nothing new. 3.250, 3.200 like you do. I mean, it's incredible thing to train. How much rest? Okay, you can have 3 minutes, you know. High speed, 3 minutes, very heavy for a 400 meter runner. But if I want quality, yeah, you know, the rest is everything. I go up to 8, 10, 12, 15. What do I want? So I think this is something that we are using too little of, 50 meters. Because it's very good mentally thing for the runners. It's not 300 meters, and they think, oh, it's just 250. You have to make them think positive. But when I do all the other things when I go out, I do all this like everybody else. If I'm going to the top speed, I do 150, 120, 100, maybe 80, maybe 60 then, or maybe 150, 120, 60, 60. It depends on what. You can have 50 minutes, you can have 20 minutes, you can have whatever you want. But I always go down because it's sprint. It's the fast fibers at least. I don't go never ever the other direction. Maybe on the 400 meter on the but never on sprint. And I want to top them. The 6.6 I never use anymore, I think. I think so. I like to do like count if I want a 400 march round, I want it a little bit heavy, 2.300. The rest, how much do you want to rest? Doesn't matter. If you want to have quality, they can rest 20 minutes. They can rest 30 minutes. But they're going to have a run fast in these 200-300 meters. And you can rest a couple of minutes, doesn't matter how, I think. If you're not like a Johan Wissman or something, you can just rest a little bit and then you can do one more race. And if that is 120 or 100 or something, I don't think it's so important. I've done it sometimes with more ones. But I think I did more 250s. 3.250s when we're starting to come to a competition or something. So everything when I do the top, I do like everybody else, I think. Just notice what do I think is good. 60 meters, like I said, just put 1.5 minutes rest. It's fast running. 3.3 that's not much. If you have a series pause about 8-10 minutes, quality. Depends on what you want. Maybe in the summer you wanted this rest because they're going to run very fast. So I think only the imagine can close us from what can we do with running, how many, what do we want. The rest is everything. How much percent do you want? So when you start thinking in that direction, something happens, I think. I don't think, personally, that you should run 500-600 meters with a young girl. I said it before, I think they're going to quit. Maybe some will pass, but a lot of people will quit.
What do you mean young girl? Young 15?
Yeah, train hard with a girl 15, 16 years old. Because every year they have to increase something. I mean, if you put a lot of training with them when they're 15, 16 years old, what are you going to train 3 years later? So it's very easy to go too hard with those kids because they are also growing. Every system in his body is growing. Central nervous system, muscles. I'm not a believer of too hard training in that age. And the problem is to see what I've seen so many girls disappear in Sweden. It's like they're doing 55 indoors. But what do they do in 200 meters? 25, maybe close under 25. Maybe, I think, many times over 25, if I talk indoors. That's not fast. And that's what you're going to stay on 55 seconds. And then maybe go down to 54 and somebody is going to do 53 maybe. But to take another step, then you have to have much more speed in the US. You have to be faster. That's what I think. So this is hard to increase if you're starting 15, 16 years old girls, because I've seen so many girls, because they're very easy to train when they're 15, 16 years old. Junior coaches who goes, oh, I have the best girl in Sweden. Okay, good. But I want them to be best when they are seniors, not juniors. I don't care about juniors or 15, 16 years old people. I want them to be good as seniors. That's the whole system. That's what we are. That's why I'm a coach, to develop them to be something in the senior stage. But I'm not saying that you can't be good, because we have talent. We have Irene Eklund. What shall I say about her? She go out and she's 16 years old. And Moa is very good trained. She has not the chance flying the last 100 meters against Irene on 200 meters. Irene running with 1.5 meters away from Moa. And Moa is not badly trained. So there you have an exceptional talent. And that we see sometimes coming up. Finland, Sweden, Norway, down like a little bit. We have an exceptional talent in that young sprinter. Yeah, I mean it's unbelievable times. But the thing as a coach, how shall I increase all the years and have him good when he's older? We have Erik Hagberg in Sweden. I mean he's 1050. A couple of years ago, 1060, I think he was 60 years old. There were a lot of them. But what's happening on the road? Because I see a lot of people get injured. And after a while, if you have too much injuries, they're disappearing. So sometimes I've also thought about Irene, what will happen when she gets injured the first time? What will happen then with this incredible talent who's taking a gold medal for a championship for youth 22-92. So it's difficult that to take care of everybody and try to do it on the right way. That's my job. I never ever experiment with my athletes. I have no. That's not. Why can't I say? I have no right to experiment with my athletes. I said many coaches experience with their athletes. Running credible races. But I can try to develop and put on more training. That's my job to do. But not experiment. You understand what I mean? I mean, that's not the way to be for me as a coach. I have to take care of my athletes. I mean, they like kids for you. We get very close. We share everything. Something happening in the family, someone died. We coaches have everything to take care of, to be a body and to be there all the time. And if the athlete's not feeling good, then we know that the training is going to pay for it. You have to have somewhere to live, you have to have a work. Otherwise, if you're not professional.
What about indoor season? Do they compete indoor season? And if they compete normally, what is progression for indoor season? I mean those runs and repetitions. Is it the same when you are coming to summer?
No, I'm going down. No, everything is going down.
Is it like?
No, if we go to the indoor season, not many. Mo is not going to compete the indoor system. I don't think Neil will do that either, because Neil cannot run 60 meters. But if they're doing, then we go always abroad. We go like South Africa and warm. And then we're starting to train a lot there, but we also increase the rest and doing less runs and higher speed.
You mean they are not?
So sorry.
They are not competing like 200 meters or 400 meters indoors. Indoors, competing indoors, it doesn't mean only 60. There is 200, there is 400, maybe 300.
Yeah, but not so much. You haven't the world championship on 200 meters, and that's I can say maybe Neil's special distance. Can be very good at 200 meters, I think, but it's not indoor, so he don't want to go up to 400 meters. But everybody else is going to compete 60 meters, 200 meters, 400 meters. So then I started to top them when it's going to January, and we started to do more runs, much faster, more rest. Taking away, maybe do good thing, go 3-4 races or something. Just go down with the races.
What does happen after they have competed indoors? Do you increase again volume and low intensity?
I do that. Not like the Italians. I go back to heavy training. Not the same like in the woods, but heavier. And something that I've been thinking of is very complex. When you go sometimes, like South Africa, you come there and you train a lot. You really train hard. And we train a lot. We never train like everybody on the mornings. We warm up in the mornings and we do all the technique in the mornings. But when the body has been waked up, I think we train afternoon. And that's the thing that's I really think about that. They can be so fast when we come to South Africa. With all this training they have, and then we started to train in South Africa, we had the warmth, everything sometimes, and they started to run so fast. So I really, how can this happen? How can Moa suddenly do 36.5 with all the training? And maybe I'll do a top in the summer that I really wanted to be good shape. Maybe she do 37.5. So maybe it's very good for many to run a lot. That's what I'm sitting sometimes and thinking. Why can she run so fast? And we go in January in South Africa. We're still training all these things. I don't know if it's mentally 35 degrees, I don't know. But it's very interesting that we have all this training and they're still running fast. If I do 180, 60 in the warm, they started to run much faster because of the warm.
What does happen after South Africa? After you have back home?
Then if they are competing, it's competing season. So then we start to be in really good shape in February when the Swedish indoor championships. We have some, like you, we have some, indoor, Nordic. Yeah, try maybe to increase them, but then we have the Swedish championship. That's always important because it's a lot of points and we have a good bonus system. So if he wants 200 meters, he get 15,000 crowns from the club, and that's much for him. Because they don't earn any money. I mean, we have a lot of trouble with the deal to get a sponsor. Even if he's number 4 now and number 2, it's not that the sponsors are standing there and say, we will help. I think that's a big problem, even for us coaches. And then the agents come in, and then I don't call it to discuss them. When some agents come in, it's going to be a little more to do. They have something, a lot of interest. But often it goes well. When we get people who's good, we get the agents, we have to be on our toes, otherwise we can be swept away. Okay, you can take over. I don't care anymore.
A little bit off topic, but what is the biggest support of athletes in Sweden? Is it club or federation or sponsor?
Who helps us?
Who helps?
The athletes.
Yeah.
Then in our case, it's Sportvägen. Because they have a bonus system. They have, if they are in the Swedish team, they have one sum, amount. And if they have been doing well in the summer, they have all the bonus. So the club is really taking care of them. But it's not enough. I mean, if we go into Rio, I need to go to Rio because it's his hometown. He's there now. His family and everything. But if we're going to go there, we have to have some help. And our association has now got from, no? The most, the Swedish Olympic Committee, if you, I forget. But it depends on, because if you have a business, like Moa, she has a business company, then you don't get so much money from Swedish Olympic Committee. But in the first time, they can take care of our coaches. After all these years, they are now begun to thinking of us. The coaches need help. And even our Swedish Federation, no, association, has been thinking, we have to help the coaches more.
What kind of backing do you give for the coaches?
What they give?
Yeah, what kind of backing?
They give me a pretty good percent, I can see. So I could work a little bit less. So it's pretty good money, but you have to pay taxes. I can take out some extra salary, and that's has been very important for me.
So what else do you work?
I work 50% now and 50% in the school.
Okay.
Taking care of kids. No, I'm not a teacher anymore. Just taking care of spare time. But now I'm going up to 70% in sport. But if I want more, then I have to work with all the long loop, marathon, all the races that we have, and they have no use for me there. They're more used to me. Take care of kids. Can you help there with the juniors? Can you take care of that? Yeah. So that's also a problem. Because we have one trainer who's been employed for Sportway for 35 years, and he's a head coach, deciding everything in Lesh. So that's good. Maybe not so much democratism. So, but I think 67. But if I lost the school, it's going to be complicated. Because like I have 12 active. Maybe some more is coming over and like that. But we have to check every people who wants to join the team. Mo and Neil and the other ones have to say, okay.
It's more like an exception in the Swedish system that they have club has a lot of money, or is there many clubs that have that?
No. Hässelby and Sportway is the thing that we call Stockholm Marathon. So we make a lot of money on Stockholm Marathon and that we call the Tjejmilen, half marathon, and like that. So that is giving us money. So if Stockholm Marathon will fall, we don't have any club anymore. But the good thing is everything that's coming in from Stockholm Marathon, they give directly out to athletes and to coaches. That's a good system. Because a lot of people maybe complain, oh, you have so much money. Yeah, but you have to work for it. I mean, I haven't the time to explain to people how much Stockholm Marathon takes to work with. And now they were scared because, oh, the Finns are not coming over to 2014. There's so much, it's not so much Finnish guy coming. Oh, what shall we do? So they was a little bit scared for a couple of months ago. But but now we can see that people like running, and I have to be happy for that. So I can also say that the club is interesting to me to take care of many actives. But many other PE coaches say to me, you have to take care of Mo and me. It doesn't work that way. You have to take care of a lot of people.
Any more questions? Maybe later on. Okay, now we have a coffee break. There is some coffee in the same place as yesterday. And at 3:30 we start again in the indoor hall.